All right, so good morning. And so we'll just need some blocks for today. And we're also going to be doing the pigeon pose. So if there's like a blanket or a special size block you'd like to use for the pigeon pose, having that. And then we will start lying down and we'll be doing the block under the sacrum. And of course, you can lie flat if you don't have a block. All right, so coming down onto our mat. Take a moment, letting go. Nice deep breath. And lifting up, sliding the block under the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, sliding the legs out to straight. And there we are. Big inhale up into the lower belly, exhale, melting off the block. A little shifting and splinging here on the block. You can see I'm circling some ankles. You can do a little rocking with the pelvis. These are just suggestions. You stretch up overhead. Using all these little movements to feel into your body. Remember, squinging is mindful fidgeting, not just fidgeting around. Feeling what you're doing, feeling the effects of those little shifts, hopefully a little more spaciousness and awareness in your body, in the joints. And then as you are ready, cooperating a little bit more with the block, making the legs parallel, flexing the feet like you're standing on the opposite wall. Drawing up through the abdominal muscles out the top of the head, stretching yourself long and flat and parallel over the block. And another option is taking the hands and putting them on the block near your waist there, giving a push, getting some traction, a little bit more length. And this push with the hands can also relieve any achiness that might come into the lower back while we're here on the block. If you want, you can keep the hands there or bringing them back alongside. And we'll take a few more breaths here, stretching over the block. And then we will finish up here on the block, bending the knees, lifting up off that block, rolling down vertebrae by vertebrae, landing on the floor. And then let's come up in the bridge pose without the block. All right, heels under the knees, feet hip distance apart, press the feet into the floor, scoop the tailbone up, healing up, and then finding that press down with the upper arms, a little lift of the upper chest toward the chin. So the upper chest, you might not feel it moves a lot, like there's actually a big arch in the upper back, but that's the intention. And we can also interlock the fingers here, giving those upper arms a little bit more of a roll out, making it a little easier to lift the chest the same way we do when we're standing. We interlock the fingers, and I said, pulling up the front of the body to lift the chest and lift the chin. Though obviously we can't lift the chin very far. And then breathing here. And rolling down, vertebrae by vertebrae, landing on the floor again. And let's figure 4, crossing the right leg over the left, making that big triangle, reaching through the triangle, holding on behind the left leg or across the knee. Inhaling and exhaling. And then let's switch legs, crossing the left leg over, reaching through the triangle, pulling the legs in. And then send the legs down. And we'll walk it out to the edges of the mat, bringing the arms out wide. So we're going to do the windshield wiper, drop the knees to the side. So let's go over to the right. This is the one where the left leg is not going to be touching the right. Might not be such a big twist in the spine. It's a little more about rotating the left thigh bone. Deep breath there, reaching wide, fingertip to fingertip, and then rolling through the center over to the other side. Resting down with that inner right knee toward the floor. Reaching wide through the arms, long through the top of the head. And then rolling back to the center. Let's go back and forth a few times. Inhale and exhale over. Inhale and exhale, center. And to the left. And center. So you can be on your own timing. We'll do this a few more times. That nice sort of massage across the back of the sacrum as you move through the center. And we'll finish up in the next few breaths, but making sure you're finishing right and left for yourself. And then once we're finished with that, we come back to the center, just slide the legs out to straight, stretch the arms up overhead. Big long reach. And then making your way up to sitting, and we will sit in Sukhasana, the crossed legs, or maybe, but just maybe, don't overdo things. Maybe you could do the box pose, having gotten our hips fairly warmed up. So if this top leg knee is like way up and you're all crooked, don't try to force it into the box pose. Doing Sukhasana. All right, so here we are, using those arms alongside, lengthening up, getting space between the vertebrae, space in the hip sockets, maybe a little more squinching somewhere. And then we'll release with the hands, letting the hands rest on the knees or perhaps the knee and ankle. Inhale and exhale, closing your eyes, bringing your attention even more inside yourself. Moving out the breath. A little longer, a little deeper. And then we'll reach out wide through the collarbones, through the fingertips. Breathing the arms up, taking up lots of space. Breathing the arms down. Let's do that once more. Lifting up and grounding down. Reaching wide, coming forward. Nice big round breaths across the back of the body. And coming up, unfurling the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. Deep breath. I will change the cross of the legs. All right, here we are in Sukhasana, maybe the box pose. Let's reach out wide through the fingertips, breathing the arms up, and we'll interlock the fingers. Turn the palms up, give the elbows a pull, rounding the shoulder blades down, lengthening up, straightening the arms at the same time, but drawing down, pouring down through the tips of the shoulder blades into the sitting bones, into the floor. Long and flat against the wall behind you. And then release the hands, bringing those arms down. And let's come forward and And then come up, unfurling the spine vertebrae by vertebrae back up on top of the sitting bones. Inhale and exhale. And let's come around onto all fours. And doing a few cats and cows. Arching up and lengthening up. Inhale and exhale to lift up. Inhale and exhale to arch and lengthen. Or maybe you're taking an inhale and the arch and lengthen and exhaling up into the cat back. Lengthening out, inhale, cow back. Exhale, contract and pull up into the cat back. But the important thing is your breathing. You can do, maybe you're doing some combination of that. You're putting a little forward and back. Once again, breathing into your body. Feeling what you're feeling, not just doing something. And then we will find the neutral spine, long and flat against the ceiling, extending the left leg back with the toes tucked under, pressing back into the left heel. Maybe just staying here or lifting up that right leg in the hover plank, making your left leg stretch longer. Setting the right knee down, and we will switch legs, extending the right leg back, stretching back into the heel. Picking up the left leg or not. Sometimes just lightening up a little on the left leg will make that right leg engage a little more. Setting that left knee down, pulling back in child's pose. And let's slide out into the Sphinx. And then feeling like that block is on the sacrum. We'll press down the pelvis into the floor, lengthening back through the toes. As we pull the elbows back, pull the forearms back, wide across the upper chest and upper back. And coming down. So let's do the giant bug cobra again this week. So on the pads of the fingers, the spidery hands, or maybe with the flat hand. And the hands can be rotated a little, the fingers are rotated a little out to the side rather than so aggressively straight forward maybe. All right, and there's the elbows pulling wide and a little bit of a press forward. As we drop the chin, rolling up. And then pulling those elbows wide and straight out to the side as you come down. Let's do that 3 times. Rolling up, reaching out long. So we're cat backing on the way up and cow on the way down. And then we're going to come up once more, but let's come up sort of with the cow back, leading with the upper chest and pressing up. So it's like me, those arms get straight. Give the elbows a bend and pull wide instead of going for maximum height. Make that elbow bent shape in the arms, making the back muscles work a little differently. And then calming down. And we will peel ourselves back up to downward facing dog. Maybe a little more cat and cow ripple in there if you want. And then here we all are, downward facing dog. Walking the dog or anything else you want to do here. And then finishing that dog walking. And here we are in the best downward facing dog of this moment, nothing moving but the breath. All right, let's lift our right leg up, reaching long through the heel, reaching down through the left heel. Bending the right knee dog at the high fire hydrant, holding that left leg nice and steady. And then through to the lunge. Inhale and exhale. Take a moment, making that long line from the top of the head out the left heel like we just had, kneeling on the floor. Maybe lightening up on the fingertips this time. And then bringing that left knee down with strength. We'll keep our left hand on the floor as we take a quarter circle or half circle, I guess, reaching forward with the right arm, up and open into an indulgent twist. Really sink into that for a moment. And then we'll keep reaching with our right arm, and it'll come around and pick the left arm up into Vinyasa. And we reach down the sides and into Namaste in the center. And then seated goddess, reaching inside the right leg. Rotate the right foot 45 degrees. Swivel on the left knee, coming down. Sitting on that left heel if you can, or you can sit on the floor. I don't know if a block will fit in there. Anyway, here we are, somewhere similar, wedging that right arm on the inside of the right leg. So really push with the right elbow against that right inner thigh. Pulling wide, inner thigh, long through the top of the head. And then expanding the arms, we make a little twist to the left toward the back of the mat, with the arms reaching on a long and wide diagonal. And then reaching around with the left arm, it comes back to Namaste. And swiveling to the lunge, stepping forward. Into the concave, back halfway up. Folding over, taking a few breaths here in the forward bend. With as much bend in the knees as you want, or maybe a block for the hands. Making the floor closer, your arms longer. And then we will come up to standing, carrying yourself up into a big front body yawn. Pressing the arms down, long through the top of the head. Inhaling and exhaling. And then let's breathe up through the right arm, side bending over to the left. Then a big inhale, pulling that right arm a little more open. Bend the knees, reaching onto the left diagonal, coming around to the forward bend with the bent knees, really doing easeful hang there. Then extend the legs straight again, coming back up to standing. Big front body yawn. Pressing the arms down, long through the top of the head. Left arm coming up and over, side bending to the right. And a big inhale, pulling that left shoulder a little more open. Exhale, bend the knees, scoop a little into the abdominal muscles. Draw yourself into a forward bending fold. Extending the legs straight. Coming back up into the front body. And then we will just dive over. I'm getting back halfway up, folding over, stepping back with the left leg. So we're in our right lunge again. We're going to come into the side angle Parsvakonasana as a twist. Turning your left foot to 90 degrees. Right arm inside the right leg, maybe hand on a block as we twist to the left. Deep breathing. And then we're going to reach around with the left arm. We're going to draw up with the right and bringing the hands to Namaste. Right elbow on the right. And then just letting that go. Turn into the lunge. Stepping back to the plank through the Vinyasa, any version. Downward facing dog. And then around we'll go, leading with the left leg. Lifting the left leg up. Bending the left knee dog at the high fire head. And to the lunge. Inhale and exhale. Pausing here in the low lunge, really stretching back through the right leg. Maybe lightening up on the fingertips. And then we'll take that right knee down. And we're going to put the right hand on the floor and take a reach forward, up and open into a sort of indulgent twist, pausing here. And then reaching around with the left arm, picking up the right into Vinyasa, the kneeling line. And a big half circle around into Namaste. And then reaching inside the left leg, seated, modest turning the left toes in 45 degrees, swiveling on the right knee, and really wedging that left arm on the inside of that left leg. So you're pressing the left knee out and open, reaching wide, inner thigh to inner thigh. Breathing, engaging with your breath again. And then we will expand the arms, making a twist to the right toward the back of the mat. Big open diagonal. And reaching around with the right arm back to Namaste. And swiveling to the lunge. And we will step forward. Into the concave back, halfway up. Holding over, taking a few breaths here in the forward bend. Relaxing the head and the neck. And then coming up to standing, rounding or extending. And a big front body one. And pressing the arms down, long through the top of the head. All right, left arm side bending up and over to the right. Big inhale, pulling that left shoulder open. Exhale, bend the knees, contract and round in. Easeful, deep knee bend, forward bend for a moment. Then extending the legs, coming back up to standing. Big front body yawn. Pressing the arms down. And then right arm up and over to the left. And a big inhale and exhale, reaching on that left diagonal, scooping yourself down and over. Extending the legs, coming back up, big front body yawn. And diving. And we will step back with the right leg. And then turning that right foot to 90 degrees, bringing the left arm inside the left leg, so left toes are still pointed forward. As we twist to the right to come into a Parsva Konasana side angle pose. And breathing. Slowing down again, smoothing things out. Just we're doing a lot of moving and up and down. I'm going to reach up through the right arm as you bring the right arm around to Namaste. Left elbow comes up onto the left knee if it wasn't already there. And here we are. And just coming down, squaring off that lunge, stepping back to the plank. So we're going to let our vinyasa this time finish on the floor. So whatever version you want to, the up dog or the cobra, lingering there a couple breaths. And then we will just flow ourselves down into the floor. Let's come to that Sphinx for a moment, getting everything lined up, lengthening out the front of the pelvis along the floor, long through the top of the head. Coming down, out to the giant bug arms. And then let's extend ourselves up. So instead of dropping the chin, reaching forward and up, doing that one. And then pulling the elbows wide. And we're going to do the twist. So we're going to twist the left shoulder down, turning the head to the right. Maybe that right ear is going to come all the way to the floor. And then lifting back up, twisting left, right shoulder feels like it's pressing down, maybe all the way down here to the floor. And maybe trying a more shallow twist, staying a little more lifted. You might find you like one, keep going on this on your own timing. You might find you like one version more than the other to go way down and up. And maybe staying lifted or just different. And we'll finish with this in the next few breaths. Make sure you finish to a right and left evenly for yourself. And once we're finished, we'll just hold here a little more. Maybe going for the straight arms this time. You know, really wide and spacious cobra. And then coming down, forehead on hands. Or chin on the hands. Let's reach long back through the toes. Feel a little press down the tailbone into the floor. And just lengthen through the right leg, lifting the right leg a few inches off the floor. Breathing 3, 2, 1. Reach a little longer as you bring the right leg down. Let's lift the left leg. Lifting that left leg, reaching a little longer through the toes. 3, 2, 1. Let's lift that right leg up again. And then trying to keep the thigh lifted, bend the knee, reaching the toes for the ceiling. And then extending that right leg back out and reaching it down. Left leg, reaching long and lifting straight leg. Bending the knee, try to keep the thigh lifted. Extending out the left leg and bringing it down. Let's do that once more, making it straight, rigorously straight. Bending the knee. And then straightening that leg out. Foot comes down, thigh presses up a little. Bring the right leg down. And then the left, lengthening it up straight. Bend the knee. Pressing down with the foot, lifting more from the thigh. And setting that left leg down. Deep breath. And we will make our way back up to downward facing dog. All right, let's lift our right leg up, reaching long through the heel. Bending the knee dog at the high fire hydrants. And this time, let's straighten our leg back out, pulling out through the foot, 3-legged dog. And then big inhale and exhale, hover plank. And we're going to figure 4 dog, hinging up, crossing the right ankle over the left leg just above the knee. Figure 4 dog. Hold and breathe. And then release the leg, round up knee to the nose, lifting high, and stepping through to the lunge. Let's come up in the warrior number 2. Checking the alignment of that knee over the right foot. Reaching long. Engaging with that breath, smoothing it out again. Dance, warrior, side bending away. Let's go into the triangle, Trikonasana, straightening up that right leg, tilting over, extending out. Maybe reaching around with the left arm, bringing the hand up to Namaste in the triangle. We don't have to do everything. And then expanding the arms again for a moment. And we'll come down to the lunge. And then let's pick that right leg up in the hover plank. Three-legged dog. And we'll hover plank again. And figure four dog. And then bringing the knee to the nose, lifting up on the tiptoes, lots of space. And then we're going to the pigeon. Swinging that right shin a little forward. Using a block or whatever else you want to there. Into the pigeon. All right, inhaling up the front of the body, exhale, pouring down the back. And coming forward and over, sleeping pigeon. So in your pigeon, your front shin might not be parallel to the front of the mat. That's not actually the traditional pigeon pose. The front leg, the heel is back closer to the hip. It's not parallel like a figure four to the front of the mat. So that gets done to get more stretching out of it. So don't force it to be there. It's where it is, but it's still got a little bit of figure fourness to it. And then palming up, and you're going to bend the left leg, turning to the running gear, the inside, outside legs. Maybe using a block under that right knee. We're trying to get that left sitting bone on the floor. And here we are, kind of like a version of those windshield wiper legs. And then let's come forward. So you'll see where your hip bones ended up facing and coming forward from there. And coming up, reaching the arms out wide to the side. We'll breathe them up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's do that once more. And then we will twist to the right, so being a little vertical as we start. And then reaching down and around, swirling around like you're reaching for the left foot, like a swirling galaxy. Finding a good spot to pause or land and breathing in. Yep. Bring those legs in, squeeze into a little ball, pulling back into the upper back, getting a nice stretch there between the shoulder blades. And then we will go around to the other side. So coming up to downward facing dog, maybe going through a vinyasa or maybe not, just being mindful we have all those hover planks in this section, so don't overdo for your wrists. I'm going to do the not the vinyasa myself. All right, and here we all are, downward facing dog. Let's lift the left leg. And in the knee dog at the high fire hinge. And then straighten out that left leg again. And we'll hover plank knee forward. And then into the figure four dog, crossing that left ankle across above the right. And then bringing the knee to the nose, rounding up, maybe coming up on the tippy toes, big lift, stepping through to the lunge, warrior number 2 on the left. And here we are, dissolving into a little bit of stillness, taking the time to check in with your breath again. And dancing warrior, breathing the left arm up and away. And into the triangle, straighten up that left leg, big reach out and and then maybe bringing the hands to Namaste. Big reach around with the right arm, bringing the left hand up to the right. We don't always need to do more though. And then expanding the arms back out. And coming down to the lunge, picking that left leg up into the hover plank. And figure four dog. And rounding up knee to the nose. And to the pigeon. So if you try to force that shin up to parallel with the front edge of the mat, when the hip joint is not ready to go there, you just end up putting overstretching in your outer knee. Anyway, so here we are, taking a few breaths in the high pigeon cobra action. Inhaling up the front, exhale, pouring down the back. And coming forward and over, sleeping pigeon. And up. And then we'll bend that right leg, turning to the running here. Inside, outside legs. Sometimes this is called a sitting figure four or fourth position. You do Martha Grandma dance. All right, here we are. Maybe using a block for that left leg, doing your best to get the right sitting bone to the floor. So I know for some of you, that's probably not so hard to be sitting on both sitting bones nice and evenly. For some of us, it is pretty hard. All right, here we are, and we will make our way forward. Seeing where's forward between the two hip bones. Might be right to the side of the mat, might be a little bit to one angle or the other. And then we'll twist to the left, being vertical at first. Inhale and exhale. On that twisting action up the spine, into the spine. And then continuing down and around, walking the hands out and down. Finding that first edge, that first place to settle in. So it might deepen as we hold it. Up. Gathering up the legs, wrapping the arms around the legs, doing a little pull back. I think you know what I'm doing when I'm talking about pull back. I'll just turn sideways. Pull into the legs and then you pull back, get a nice stretching up the back and across the shoulders. Up. Oh, and it's time to be coming down. Oh, coming down onto the floor. And take a few moments really feeling that weight of the body releasing into the earth. Very present with that physical ease. So let's sliding the legs out straight. Letting the eyes soften and close. And then we're still here in that easeful weight of the body into the earth. Maybe being a little more present in the easefulness of the breath and perhaps the easefulness of the mind. The easefulness of the mind is probably the most difficult thing. If we get the body there, and then we get the breath, that will usually eventually draw the mind in as well. And then breathing back into your body, into the room. Moving your fingers and toes, stretching the arms up a little bit. Bending. And gently making your way up to sitting. And sitting in any comfortable position with the long and spacious spine. Taking a few more moments sitting quietly inside yourself. Namaste. Thank you for coming.